Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Adventures of Drawing. Oh, should have taken that stuff out before starting. Okay, I'll draw a scene for you today using a variety of pencils, a smudging tool, and an eraser. So, without further ado, let's dive right into this. Okay, I want a horizon line that goes a little bit up like this, since we're on an inclination on a hill. Okay, couple of bushes over here on the horizon, and there's a little something right here. We've got a tree in here. Maybe the trunk starts like this. Oh, that's a little bit wide. Maybe it's this wide. And then the foliage goes all the way over here and up there. And it goes over here as well. And in here, maybe like so. Okay, got a couple more trees over here. And then something right there, maybe like this. Okay, this is the setup for the scene today. I'm not going to draw a sky. Instead, I will start with those bushes back here. And I'll see if I can maybe give them a structure. It should be a little darker, I think. So let's cross-hatch all that from the start. Now keep going with this leaf structure. Maybe go a little bit below this horizon line. Make them start a little bit more in front of the horizon and not just on the horizon. Okay, done with this. Let's have a couple of branches that stick out every now and then from a different type of bush. Maybe like this, right here. Okay, then we'll go over to those trees in here, give them a little bit of a dark value as well, or medium light value. This is, let's go across like that. Once more to make it more even, like so. Okay, and then also give those a structure. Now this is a lot of space to cover with a rather fine pattern of leaves, and maybe make this a little bit faster. And I want to make a couple of leaves poke out from the indication that I drew earlier, so that we don't have a line going around those trees. I want to draw across that line so it disappears. Quite a lot of ground to cover here. I think I was able to speed this up pretty well compared to the bushes by just making a little bit larger movements and not making the pattern as fine as over there, what I did for the bushes. Okay. Going all the way to the ground. We've got a forest over here. And we've got the leaves of the trees growing all the way down to the ground, so we don't see tree trunks back here. Down here, and that's it. Okay, maybe the forest goes up to this point. So I'm going to crosshatch this area behind the tree that's going to be in the foreground, just so that there are not going to be any bright spots poking out, since I will make or try my best to make bright spots in the sky visible through the foliage of this tree, and by making this a little darker there are not going to be bright spots, since through those gaps in the foliage we are going to see the forest behind the tree and not the sky. Okay, now I want to go in and have a couple of shadow areas in here, and I think I'm just going to those in like this. Start down at the bottom. There are going to be a lot of shadow areas, and then going up there are not going to be too many. Maybe like so. And similar for those trees back here. But let me have something down here. So maybe another layer right here. So above this layer, we can see some shadows. And this layer down here is the top of some bushes that grow in front of the trees. So those upper areas are going to be touched by the sunlight again, so that's going to be a brighter area, just like the tree tops up here. And there's another layer right here. So to the side of those trees in the background, right here it's getting dark, and then down there it's light again. And right here it's a side area again, so we're going to have shadows there. I want those to sort of reach in there and have areas of shadow and light that alternate. Doesn't get close to what I want it to look like, but for a very general structure, it's okay. Just the impression of some shadow and light areas. Okay, down here as well. At least it looks like a couple of layers of trees. Well, okay, give me a second here. All right, and I'm back. Now let's go into the ground down here. Maybe some elevations in here, like I just try to hint those elevations with a couple of darker areas in here, like here and up there, maybe like this. Okay, and then down here, I want there to be a bit of tall grass. Maybe like this. And then there is a fence back here. It's just this tall. It's very much in the distance. Okay, maybe we can see a cord going from one pole to the next through here. Okay. Now I want to extend the ground down here, and that's going to be a lawn. Let me first give it just a value everywhere. So in the end there's No bright area sticking out. Maybe like so. Like there, like this. Okay, and now I want a couple of layers of grass. And I put them in like this today. And I hope that each one of those zigzag patterns is going to look like a layer of grass in the end. Maybe one going all the way over here. One starts above this one. They should be smaller in the background, but oh boy. Don't know if I'll be able to put in a lot of very small areas right here. Maybe like this right here. The next one starting right there. And back here, there, you shouldn't even see anything since it's very far in the distance. Maybe I just cross hatch it like that. And then down here we've got a wider area. Maybe like this. That disappears behind this area in the foreground that I indicated before. And then there's maybe a small area in here and another one down here, like so. Okay, let's go a little bit to the other side of the tree. Have something in here. Let's go up to this area below the fence. There, we've got a couple of layers in the ground. Okay, next thing I want to do is draw this tree right here. So on the left side we're going to have our shadow side of the trunk, and well, I think it's going to look rather dark. Since the entire trunk is going to be in the shadow. Maybe a little darker on the left side. But today I'll not leave a light area to the right. Just like this, maybe. And yeah, let me draw maybe just a couple of branches go up here, or the tree trunk bifurcates down there, and then we've got some darker areas poking through the leaves in here where we've got some mighty branches. So let's make those areas darker, maybe right here, this area, me just quickly cross-hatch that and not go along the length of the shape, just like this. Maybe we see the dark area to the right side of the tree trunk right here. Or maybe we won't, maybe the leaves are going to cover that, but I don't know that yet. Okay, and then we've got this branch right here. Okay. Now I'll do a lot of the same that I did in the background, trying to give the impression of a lot of leaves back, or not back here, just in here. Maybe I'll make a couple of clusters. I think that's what I'm going to do. Otherwise, this is going to take a lot of time. I just draw some clusters of leaves and leave some areas blank in between, where, just as I said, we can see the sky through the foliage. So I'll draw all those areas in here, and I'm not making sure that each line of the pencil looks like an individual part of the tree, but I'll just stitch them together to create those little, you could call them islands in here, like so, and like this over here. And I'll first cover the entire area where I want this tree to be, like this, with the HB pencil that I've got right now. And later on, I'm going to go in with the 3B pencil, maybe the 7B, to put in the shadow. So all the way down here. Yeah, I think this is definitely the way to go. Had I tried to do this like for the bushes or the trees in the background, we'd be still sitting here tomorrow. So I think this is the way to go. It gives less detail than there could be, but that's up to everyone who's drawing to decide to put in as much detail as they want, or as little detail. As impressive as it is to make a lot of deliberate choices and put in a lot of detail. It can be as nice to look at something that has a lot of energy and a lot of speed to the process, since then a lot of things happen that wouldn't have happened otherwise and that couldn't have happened otherwise, and they can still look really nice, like the dynamic of a pencil line. Some things you can only do when using the pencil at a high speed and going really wild on your piece of paper. None of that's really happening here right now. There's not a lot of dynamic in my lines. They are all very much the same as I'm trying to chain together those parts of the foliage. But in other situations, of course, you can have a lot of different effects with your pencil. Okay, now I'm going in with the 3B pencil and I'm just doing the same right here. Adding in islands of darker value. But I'll make sure I'll leave some of those spots in between the leaves to leave those areas where we can see through the foliage. I really didn't get a good part of the pencil lead right here. Get some very sharp lines. But that's what it is. It's just a drawing. And things happen in here. Okay, now the bottom left has to have a lot of dark areas. And as I work my way to the top right, there are going to be less dark areas. And I try to make a transition between the amount of dark areas down here and up here. A little bit to the right, and let's go up. Making less shadow areas over here. Maybe just a little bit like this. Okay. Now I'll go to the ground right here. And I'll just go in with the HB pencil and create some very quick lines in here. do some areas like this, and then go in with the 3B pencil and get some more contrast into those areas. Maybe I should have used the HB pencil more for those areas in the back of this foreground layer. But I mean, it's the foreground, so there can be all sorts of things and all sorts of values in all sorts of places. It doesn't have to be the very foremost area where I'm using the 3B pencil. Let's have something go in here and in here. Okay. And there we've got our scene for today. So let's clean up the edges. Let's go down here, right there. And here we go. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you got something out of it. Maybe the motivation or inspiration to be creative yourself or get some other work done. If you find yourself coming back to the channel, please consider subscribing. Leave a like on the video and drop down in the comments to tell me what you think about what I'm doing here. About my technique, my motifs, my composition, whatever you feel like commenting on. So, with all that said, thanks again for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.